So, hey, hi, I'm Dr. Catherine Bingham, and I help high achieving, purpose driven women create life and work that they can't wait to wake up to. So, if you are in a season of transition, whether that's empty nest, burnout, or just a quiet, that niggling sense of what now, then this space is for you. So, covering your bases highlights the what, the why, the how to pursue purpose focused change that sticks. So, here is the key. Let's switch screens over here. Your LinkedIn profile isn't just a resume, it's a mirror. And sometimes it's a vision board, it's aspirational, it's something we want that's different. But what if the version that you wrote for your profile isn't the version of you that's stepping into this next chapter? So, whether you are pivoting careers, exploring entrepreneurship, or just beginning to ask what's next, your LinkedIn presence can and should evolve with you. So, let's talk about that. Today, I have Shell Shapiro joining us to talk about empowering profiles. So, Shell helps purpose driven coaches craft compelling profiles, boost LinkedIn engagement in authentic ways, and then cultivate a loyal network and attract ideal opportunities. She's also an author. That's not really what we're talking about today, but I popped it in there anyway because you just never know what people are looking for. And I want to make sure that that's available for you. So, with that, welcome, Shell.
Hi, Catherine. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. And I know it's not necessarily related to LinkedIn specifically, but loving yourself isn't selfish is actually related to what you were talking about in the very beginning of how like even if you don't know what's next, like
Yes.
because it was part of my journey and it's the story of like how I figured out what was next for me.
And I think
So
that's
yeah.
really important because when we're pivoting, when we're trying to do new things, I love the word journey. It's one of my favorites for working with people to say, where we are at any point in time does not have to look like where we want to be and how we want to be in the moment. So perfect, perfect. So let's do that. Let's talk a little bit about the journey. What about um, tell us a bit about your journey that led you to becoming, and I love this, a LinkedIn cheerleader. And I'm going to stop sharing so that we can just have a conversation here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for asking because when I left my previous world behind, so to speak, I didn't really leave it behind. I'm still very much here. But when I was figuring out what's next for me, what does that look like? I knew the only thing I knew right then was that I needed to be the support and cheerleader for myself. So I became the thing, and I still do that. I became the thing that I wanted to see in the world, the support that I felt like I was missing.
Mhm.
And so that's really where the cheerleader part of it comes from. Like I cheerleaded myself when I didn't feel like I had a support system, and now I want to do that for others. The LinkedIn portion came later. I honestly, I had no idea in the beginning that I was going to do what I do on LinkedIn. I was getting more comfortable myself. This was 6 years ago. I was getting more comfortable with myself at the time and planting seeds and networking with people and challenging myself pre-COVID to put myself out there and see what felt right, what felt aligned. And what I found was that as I was challenging myself to network more and break out of my shell, so to speak, other people were struggling to do that too. And so I was going to networking events in person and online, and I was offering profile reviews. Again, I was in a place where I was learning how to do this better for myself. And as I was asking people if they wanted me to look at theirs and give them some feedback, they really latched onto that. And I was like, oh, okay, there's something here. I can
Mhm.
cheer people on and help them show up in a space more authentically. And 6 years later, that's still the thing that I really love doing. And it just kind of, I kind of fell into it. It just kind of like unfolded and presented itself. And the rest is kind of history in the making.
I love that. We've partnered together in the past on a virtual summit. And then more recently, I worked with you on updating my own LinkedIn profile. So, for anyone that is watching this event that really would like to have their profile be more reflective of where they are today versus yesterday, or where they want to be versus today. What are some of the most important things that we all need to be considering when preparing to either create or update our profile?
Yeah. So my LinkedIn Rockstar co-host, Melanie Mitchell Wexler, and I have been talking about personal branding for the all of June. This is what our last few sessions have been all about. And we have done this very strategically to lay the foundation so that
Mhm.
people can really get back in touch and attuned to, why am I here? What's my purpose? What is the intention behind why I'm showing up? What are my expectations here? And as you said, it's about the why, the what, and the how, right? Of why people are here. Well, that's part of what we were diving into to help people uncover. Was not just like, personal branding is more than just the bells and whistles. It's not just the logos, the fonts, the colors. It's how you actually like see yourself showing up and how you believe in yourself to go do the thing. And so now that hopefully more and more people have a better handle on how they want to do those things, again, that's the foundational piece. Now we can go in and look at, okay, well, what pieces can I pull out on my profile to support that? How
Mhm.
can I reiterate in multiple places throughout the profile from section to section what I want to be known for, how I want to show up, what I want people to know about me, how I support people, how they can reach me. These are the things that, like, even on the call that you and I had recently, right? Like, there, a lot of things aren't very like front forward facing. People don't know that they exist.
Mhm.
And you don't know that certain you can do certain things with different sections of your profile until you're actually in it. Like, okay, I've done this and I've done this, and those are the two main things, but what else? What else is there? And how do we bring those things together to tell the full story? And so that blends the personal branding that we've just spent weeks discussing with the profile optimization piece. And I'm really excited because that's what we're going to be diving into more in all of July.
Awesome. And I'm looking forward to that. And I would make love to make sure we get the link to the Rockstar Academy LinkedIn Rockstar to into the comments so that people can find that event super easily. Walk us through some of the key elements that we should attend to. At least what should we do first to make sure that we have right? And you're welcome to use screen share if you want to, if you need me to set that up for you, or just talk it through what works best for you.
Yeah. Normally I do use screen share, but in the I don't have my screens ready to do that
Okay,
today.
don't
So
worry
I'm
about
just going
it.
to talk you guys through it. So first and foremost, like, when somebody lands on your profile, they're they've obviously seen something, whether you've come up in a search or you were referred by like other people that have viewed the profile, or people that you may know. LinkedIn gives us like hints of who else we should be surrounding ourselves with, or they try to at least.
Yes, yes.
Maybe people saw you in the feed, whether they saw a post or something you comment on or liked by way of other people in your network. For whatever reason, they've landed on your profile and now they're here. And so the very first thing that I think a lot of people overlook is that banner piece, that
Mm.
blue-gray box of death, as Melanie likes to call it. Again, she's my LinkedIn Rockstar Academy co-host. I think this is such a misstep if people skip this part. It's the very first thing that people see here, and you really want to capture people's attention. Think of it like your billboard. If you only have 2 to 3 seconds to get people to keep going, what can you show them? Now, it doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles. I do have a design background. I am a recovering perfectionist. Like, you do not need to like be overly designy here, but it should in some way, shape, or form start to tell the story of who you are, what you want to be known for, how you can help, how people can reach out to you. So maybe you want to have a tagline or something that starts to capture people's attention. Maybe you want to start weaving together some calm or energetic or bubbly or peaceful colors, whatever your vibe is, to start, bringing people in and drawing things together. Maybe you want to have a call to action that lets people know what to do next or where to reach you or how to reach you.
Mhm.
And for some people who have the premium version of LinkedIn, you have the ability to have multiple banners that will then cycle through. Yeah, you can have up to 5 on a premium plan. And so if you have multiple things that you want people to know, or if you have different facets that you offer, you can cycle through those and let people know all the different offerings. So again, there's so many different ways that people can utilize this. And if you're not sure what to put up there, at the very least, it should be Google search an image. I tell my clients this all the time. You don't have to pay for stock imagery. Bare bones, Google search an image and get something up there that represents the work that you do or that you want to do more of. Keyword search.
Mhm.
That can just be your starting point. You can evolve it later on. You can add text to it. You can create your own image over time, but like you should have something that starts to tell the story. And so that's the biggest piece that I think people overlook in the beginning.
And
Yeah.
at a minimum, I think, if you are working on finding those good images, if you have nothing, take a photo that really represents you. So if you are all about nature and you have a picture from your last trip to the forest, put that up there until you can find the ones that are create one that has more representational elements to it, but at least put something other than, what did you call it, the gray screen of death or the blue gray screen, whatever it is,
The blue
because then
blue
you
gray
know
box of
somebody
death.
hasn't done anything, right?
Yeah. And what honestly, when I come to somebody's profile and I see that there's nothing there, even if I know that I can support that person and help them overcome that, my first reaction is to cringe. Like I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
like they didn't put enough time and effort here. Or like maybe they don't know how. And yes, I am judging, but like I'm judging through the lens of like, how can I make sure that this person maximizes their presence here and
Mm-hmm.
like can help them help themselves. Like I want somebody to put their best step forward here, put their best self out there. And it's so often that I see someone skip those foundational steps.
Mm-hmm.
And having that would just make all the difference. And that's just one piece of your profile, right? Like
Right.
that's just the first initial thing that people see when they land there. And so, yeah, like then to weave into all the other sections and tie those things together, it becomes like a work of art.
Yes.
And I like how you said that if you aren't sure what to put, take a picture, and have it be something meaningful, because even if it's not for other people yet, if you put a picture there that's meaningful for you, it makes you want to show up more, doesn't it? Like it gives you
Yes.
something to look at, and like it can be a calming image if it's nature or whatever it is that like energizes you. It's a good reminder for you to be like, okay, I am doing this for a reason, and here's something that can ground me while you figure out the rest of the pieces. So I love that
Mm-hmm.
you brought in the personal element too. It's not just about what everybody else sees.
Exactly. Exactly. So you've been talking about some key elements that we should attend to once we have the profile. So So some of the other ones, folks, that I really struggled with when I was transitioning from one piece to the next was to make sure that my headline and my about um, really reflected where I wanted to go. And while I don't need to repeat the story 100 times, but I was doing a lot of executive coaching and corporate work and leadership development. And then post COVID and some other events, I really have shifted into supporting women as they're making transitions. So it was really, how do I connect the dots between these very diverse pathways that I was on. So Shell, by the way, was super awesome in her support for that. So I encourage you, if you're thinking about
Shout
things,
out to you.
she is a go-to right there. But once we have that profile, right? So we have the pieces that people can look at to see who we are, what our background is, what's our vibe, those kinds of things. It's time to really, though, employ strategy, because LinkedIn isn't about just sticking a virtual resume online. It's nice, it's a piece of it, but it's really about, we can engage people, we can find and attract people for opportunities, etc. So what are some of the options for creating engagement? Let's start with that one.
Yeah, ooh, there's a lot of ways to create engagement. So that could be anything from uh putting your own content out there. That could it's not enough. I'll caveat this. I'll say it's not enough to just put the content out there, just like it's not enough to have your profile up and just wait for people to come. So to go and engage them, engagement looks like responding to comments on your own post,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that you touch base with each and every person that does comment there. We don't want to let conversations go to the wayside. So if at all possible, you make sure that you spend a little time coming back to that. Engagement can also look like engaging on other people's posts and keeping that conversation going. Go find conversations that you really enjoy and add your voice to that, or go support somebody in your network and cheer them on. I'm all for that, by the way, in case you guys didn't know that by now. Go support people who you really, who are your supporters. Return the favor. And then that also looks like, go find other people in your areas of expertise. Have conversations where you can support them and also let your voice be heard as another expert in the field, or share your experience on how you've navigated the thing that that person is talking about, or another way that you've approached it. There's different ways to engage with people who are doing similar and adjacent work to you. And I tell clients this all the time, like, it's never about competition, or at least in my eyes it shouldn't be, because we can all be like, what if we were all LinkedIn cheerleaders here,
Mm-hmm.
and each one of us showed up a little bit differently to do what we do? And certain people would gravitate towards me, and certain people would gravitate towards Catherine, and certain people would gravitate towards any number of other people who are trying to do the same thing. Well, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? That makes it very obvious, at least to me, that we're all doing the same thing, but we're doing it differently.
Yes.
And people are going to gravitate towards what they resonate with, and they're going to gravitate towards somebody who speaks the same language as they do, and any other nuances that you can think of to really find their tribe, if you will. So you can put yourself out there and engage with conversations that are basically the same thing as what you're doing, because you know that you're doing it and you're talking about it and you're showing up differently.
Okay.
Nobody else can do you the way that you do you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that makes it okay to engage in the same spaces.
Yeah.
Uh yeah.
Let me pause for a minute, because you've hit on something um, about finding your tribe, and I really also, we want to find and attract our people, the people who are going to resonate with the message we have, and and the gifts and talents that we want to share out with the world. So if we are new to LinkedIn, or if we are shifting our focus, what are some of the ways that we can actually find people? Whether it's a strategic search, what are some of the ways to do it where we can find people who have the needs or interests, or who in a particular industry? What are those tasks that we could do?
Yeah. So there's a few different things. So mostly, and if you guys have ever been on a call with me, you know that I geek out over the search bar. LinkedIn is a search engine, just like Google, just like YouTube, just like any other. I'm gonna date myself here, Yahoo, and like any other search engine that people used to use. Um, you can put keywords in there, just like I told you before with your banner image. Like if you weren't sure what to put, you could put a keyword into Google and find an image that comes up. Well, you can put a keyword into the LinkedIn search bar, or even leave the search bar blank, hit enter. And if you're looking for content, you can filter, I use the bubbles along the top of the screen versus the vertical menu, because it just populates the information differently. You can sort by posts. And if you're looking for particular content around a certain thing, you can go right to content that has been created around that post topic, or where people are talking about that thing. You can also switch it to the people tab instead of the post tab. And if you have a particular job title, keyword, um, you could sort by geographic location, you could sort by industry, you could sort by company, past and current. You could sort by a particular creator or somebody that you're connected with. You can even sort by your own network, first, second, and third degree connections, to see who else is in your sphere, right? So like you, again, whether you put a keyword or something into the search bar or leave it blank, you can now surround yourself with more content and people that relate and resonate with you. And
Mhm.
every step of the way, every filter that you add, I want you to be intentional with it. I tell clients this all the time. I want you to know why you're filtering down for people in the New York City metropolitan area. I want you to know why you're filtering down for people who are, on the other side of the world. Like maybe you want to have conversations with people in India or Australia. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're filtering down for, maybe you only want to have conversations with people at Microsoft. I don't know. There's so many different possibilities. I don't need to know. You need to know what's
Right.
important to you and who do you want to surround yourself with. And that's one of the easiest ways to go in, is to go in using the search bar, use that search engine and filter down to surround yourself and identify, all right, here are some people who are doing things in this area, or they live here, or they're talking about this thing, and go have the conversations and connect with them. So that's one of the main ways that I can help you surround yourself with more of the right people.
I love that. So, on any platform, there are the quote unquote vagaries of the algorithm. Are there any myths that are around frequency of posts, what you should and shouldn't do, what types of posts, videos, that would help someone who's getting started or who's revamping their profile to really train LinkedIn to get their messages out and be more effective at being shared in the algorithm space?
Yeah. Okay. So rather than maybe debunk some myths or hearsay about the algorithm, I want to also say that, like, there's at least 9 or 10 different algorithms that we know about. There's so many more
Right.
that we just haven't. And I use we generally, more of like the royal LinkedIn we.
Yes.
Like there's
Yes.
so many working at any given time. And so rather than focus on the different things that you think you want to do with the algorithm to do for you, I want you to focus on, how can I show up consistently, and what does consistency look like for me? What does consistency look like for my audience? And how can I teach LinkedIn that these are the things that matter to me?
Okay.
And because there's so many different algorithms working at any given time, that's why it's hard for me to say, do this, don't do this,
Right.
try this, don't try this. But if you stay aligned with what really matters to you, LinkedIn is going to learn that. The algorithms are going to pick up on that. So that doesn't mean, okay, I'll debunk one myth. Like posting every single day, or even for people now who are posting multiple times a day. I can't say it's right or wrong. I What I can say is do what feels right for you. So if consistency means only posting once a week, consistently post once a week. If
Mhm.
consistency means that you post at 8 a.m., if that's what works for you in your time zone, because remember, that's going to be different for everybody all over the globe, then
Right.
consistently show up at 8 a.m. and do your thing. That doesn't even mean that you have to be sharing content at that time. That could mean that you're showing up consistently at that time to engage on other people's posts or to follow up in the DMs, which, by the way, DMs are also a form of engagement. It fuels the algorithms to let them know that like you're interested in having these conversations. You're more likely to see content from the people that you're engaging with in the DMs and in your feed just by showing up and having those conversations with them. So figure out, instead of how can I feed the algorithm, feed focus on feeding yourself, and the algorithm will just fall into that.
I love that.
Yeah. And the reverse can be true too. Curate your feed. Get rid of anything that you do not want to see. If you're scrolling through your feed endlessly, or if you're seeing content from people that you don't care about, conversations you don't want to be having, hit that X button at the top of the post or hit those three dots, and LinkedIn's going to give you some options. The algorithm's going to want to learn what content you don't care about. So unfollow them or disconnect from somebody. You don't have to keep seeing stuff that you don't care about. So the more that you can clear out some of that clutter, the more of that good stuff that you're going to be left with.
I like that. That's important. What are some of the ways that people can learn more? So, obviously, we've already mentioned the LinkedIn Rockstar Academy, and those live events are Thursdays. You also have some individual and group coaching. What are some of the ways that people can, go beyond what we're talking about today?
Yeah. So you're right. We've already mentioned the LinkedIn Rockstar Academy. That's myself and my co-host, Melanie Mitchell Wexler. Um, Almost every Thursday, we go live at 6 p.m. Eastern. So on the first and third Thursday of each month, we host LinkedIn Live sessions. So you can find us right here. New event page every week. So if you're interested in that, we all share the link in this event chat so that you can not miss it when it's coming up. And then on the second Thursday of each month, we hold a masterclass. So our next one coming up, I believe, on the 10th is our first profile optimization masterclass in the next 12 months, because we just started the second, we're about to start the second month of LinkedIn Rockstar Academy. And if you're interested in learning more about profile optimization, you can certainly join us for any of those three, either the LinkedIn Lives or the masterclass. And then together we offer more group support. So if you want to dig a little bit deeper, you want more, I won't say one-on-one because it's two-on-one. You get two LinkedIn rock stars for for that cost. You get the two of us alongside you, supporting you to dig a little bit deeper. And we've got a variety of ways that you can dig into that with us, if that's something that interests you. And then I also help people in a one-on-one capacity, either with I usually start with two calls. I'm really big on building the momentum, as people know. I don't want you to just have the one off and then it go nowhere, or life's and you forget to come back to it. So I usually start with two sessions, and if that's something that you're interested in, building the momentum and seeing how you can optimize your profile, build your personal brand, connect with the right people, engage more strategically and effectively for you, there's certainly ways that we can do that work together. And let's start off and see where it goes.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So, um, let me do this while I ask you.
We've been covering a lot of the bases.
I
So.
know, I love that. So, hold on, let me put this back up. So, as we get ready to close, do you have any other final thoughts?
You're limiting me to final thoughts.
No,
Okay.
no, no, no. You don't never have to be final here. So, but I just, transitioning thoughts. How's that?
Yeah, I like that. Either way, we're good. It's always hard for me to like, you know, what is the most important thing that I can leave you with? But what I so the I'll do it like this. At the end of every live session, I get asked to let people know what they should do next, like take the next steps, right? And I usually tell people, look up, look down, look left, look right, look around the room. Whether we used to do this in an audio room format, we've now
Mhm.
transitioned to LinkedIn Lives. And the premise of this, like, I want you to look around who's in this space. We've been talking about, optimizing your profile. We dipped a little bit into personal branding and how that leads into that. We've talked about finding the right people, and we even talked about the engagement piece of it. Now if you look around the room, look around the space that you're in, and I mean this virtual room of LinkedIn Live, who else showed up here? Who else is in
Mhm.
this space with you? Who else? Go back to the event page. Who else was interested in having this conversation or learning more? This is a great place to start having
Yes.
more of those conversations. And I use our LinkedIn Live pages every single week to really drive this point. You don't just have to, I use this as the example, but you don't have to do it here. Do it wherever else you're having the conversations too. This just lets you know that, like, this is a great place to surround yourself with other people who are interested in this conversation. Where else are you showing up where other people are interested in having that conversation? If you're already connected with them, maybe you want to keep the conversation going.
Mhm.
Maybe you want to reach out and say, hey, did you catch this live? I really liked how they were talking about X, Y, and Z. What did you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rinse and repeat, make that your own. How can you keep having more of the conversations that matter to you? And that's one thing that I think my LinkedIn rock stars can attest to. I say that every single week, and it still holds weight every single week. And every single week, I'm going to keep saying it. So that's a great way for me to round out today's conversation, I think, as well.
I love that. So, folks, if you would like to connect with Shell, you can reach out on LinkedIn. Um, you can see that here's her LinkedIn. Just you can search for Shell Shapiro. If you would like to actually talk to her on her LinkedIn profile, there is, in fact, a link that allows you to book some time with her. So consider that if you have some additional questions. She also has a YouTube channel. Her website is here. Her email is here. There are many ways that you can reach out. And on this slide, you can also see the LinkedIn Rockstar Academy. So do look in the comments today, and also, you can use the search feature and find the event that way as well. There's lots of ways to partner with her and really move forward on um, just creating a profile that meets your goals, that enlivens what you're showing out in the world and helps you to find the folks that will resonate with your message and want to be a part of what you're doing. She also has her book, and it's available on Amazon. So, you can Google that as well, or go to Amazon and do the search. But more than anything else, I just want to thank you for investing time in yourself. Covering your bases sessions offer inspiration, tools, practical actions that you can take to address life and work holistically while you are embracing your next chapter of life and work. So, if today's conversation stirred something for you and you're asking, what do I want now? You are not alone. Please DM me with the word next. Let me switch slides here for a moment. If you do that, I will share this PDF, Find Your Next Purpose, a self reflection guide for high achieving women who've outgrown the life they've built. what it does is it gives you a chance to look through some different prompts, write out. You can use any way, journaling, of an audio messaging system, whatever works for you. Have a conversation with a trusted friend that allows you to talk through some of the answers. And that really will help set the stage for the actions that you want to take next. I also have a what's next exercise that you can, when you finished your reflection guide, ping me, and I have a way for you to schedule a conversation. All of those are fine, but this is a freebie. Take advantage of it. Happy to share it with you. Please join us for our next covering your bases session. It's going to be next week, July 4th, and I have it slated for noon. I want to make a note though that I've been experimenting with 11 a.m., noon, and 1 p.m. Eastern just to see what tends to work for people so that I can find a sweet spot. So if you ever see one that comes up that I post that doesn't have that time, just be aware that um, that may happen, that it hits a different time. So watch your posts for updates. And remember, you deserve life and work that you can't wait to wake up to. So go forth and do great things. Thank you.